Hey everybody, we're out on another tramp. Huge massive pack on my back, as you can see. This one weighs a ton. So yeah, good to have you back on the channel. You can tell from the weather around me, it's not looking too hot. Sun's been out, but there's been some huge heavy showers, so we'll just do the best we can. But today we're off to the Mamaku, which is part of the Kaimai-Mamaku Forest Park. We're going to go up the Waitawheta Valley into what I call the land that time forgot. We're going to follow the old tramway, look at some of the old gold relics. It really is a land that time forgot. The forest is beautiful. We're going to follow the river, go up the gorge, have a look at some historical things along the way. Camp for a couple of nights, 2 or 3 nights, 3 days. And I bought me a little rod, so I'm going to have a go at some trout fishing. Bought my license online this morning, so made sure I'm all legal. Because you never know when there's a fishing game guy walking along this track. So I'm just walking down the track through some private property here with permission. And I'm going to join up with the track a little bit further along. You spend about half an hour walking across farmland before you get to the main track itself, the Waitawheta Track. We're going to follow that along the river and make our way along the track. Hopefully if the weather's better tomorrow, we'll go along to Waitawheta Hut and have a look up there. But otherwise, really looking forward to this one. The weather's a bit dodgy, as you can see. First video I've done where it hasn't been beautiful, brilliant sunshine, but hey, can't have it all. Summer's finished, we are in autumn, so we're getting a bit of an early blast here. Had a lot of rain last night, so she's going to be a bit wet in there. The river will be up, but I'm all prepared. This pack's heavy already and I've only gone 50 yards. But anyway, come along. This is going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to this one. A few nights in the bush. Got my food, got my stoves, got my tent, got my tarp, got all my gear. So let's go and do it. Come along, you'll enjoy it. The whole valley here, and the gorge and the river, the forest, it really is a place that time has almost forgotten. You know, there's private farming and everything here, and of course the forest park is popular with trampers and hikers. But once you get into the valley, apart from a couple of huts, you just see these relics of the past from the gold mining days. And before that, you know, you do see the odd sign of our early indigenous people when they were here. But they're still here, but gold miners spent a lot of time here, and unfortunately nature won. Nature always wins, and it swallowed it up and left us the relics of the past. Beautiful tramp though, lots of places to stay. Just gorgeous scenery. Crazy weather at times. We're coming towards the end of the farm path, and we're about to head off up the track, follow the river and then into the bush. Wash your feet and your boots. These are the, see, gives you a bit of a spray, disinfectant. There's also brushes and spray nozzles there. And there's the song, so I've done that. I think there's definitely a pool I'm going to have a fish in tomorrow. Could be a trout or three in there. Might have a fish in that one on the way back. The locomotive's defeat. Mr. Johnson bought the new locomotive all the way from Invercargill only to find it couldn't manipulate the curves here at Devil's Elbow. Well, Mr. Johnson and his loco left Waitawheta in defeat. Due to the eventual arrival of the combustion engine, the Waitawheta tramway was never worked by a steam engine. Oh, that's sad. The Waitawheta tramway was worked by horses until Joffin's innovative tractors arrived in 1923. Look at that. So poor old horses, eh? Worked the track until then. And of course the Devil's Elbow. Infamous. Through the bush, tight bend, GA. And back then, technology wasn't what it was today. They didn't have the machinery like today. Unreal. So yeah, we're about 20 minutes along the track and we're almost up to the Waitawheta Gorge. So we'll cross over. I need to find a campsite because, as you can see, the weather is totally crap. It's hosing down. You can't really see it on the camera, but trust me, it is. I've passed a few people on the track already. Pretty wet, pretty sorry for themselves. All heading home. I'm not, I'm heading further in. Look at that. Hopefully you can hear me. That's just the sound of the gorge behind me. Water flow's definitely up a bit. We've had so much rain today and last night. Right now I've just got my eye open for a good flat clearing somewhere close to the river, and I can get rid of this pack for a while and make a nice hot brew. That's what I'm hanging out for. Nice hot coffee. Well, I've seen a spot just over there actually. It looks pretty flat. It does go over a hump and then down to the gorge again, but there should be a flat spot over there which I can probably trek out into a bit of a camp spot for my bivvy bag to tarp up. Sun's coming out again, which is nice because I'm a bit wet. But if you sort of follow me around here, there's not too many spots to pitch a campsite, so I don't think I can wait too long. It's 2:30. I could keep going a bit further in, but I'm kind of inclined to pitch camp now, get my gear out, dry off a bit, get my rod out and have a fish, because there's some beautiful pools here. Deep pools. Could be a trout or two in there. Oh, I fancy trout for dinner. Although I have got steak, so you know, trout will be good though. So if I go over here a wee bit, I can probably find enough stepping stones to get across. The thing I've got to remember is if it rains during the night and the river comes up, I've got to make sure I can get back over again. But it's looking pretty good, so let's go over and have a look, eh? Look at that, just amazing. So basically they put the logs on these bogies, these wagons, and hauled them along the track here. Gee, some old pictures there. Bloody hell, incredible. And there's one up here, there's a replica just around here, so we'll go and have a look, eh? Here we go. Gee, look at it. Massive big carry log. And the bogie, of course, is the carriage. You see it in there, the wheels. It's a bit dark, but you can probably see it. Incredible. Piece of the old track. Coddy log. It's amazing. Well, you probably can't see me very well, it's a bit dark now. It's only about 5:30. Didn't get very far along the track actually, it absolutely hammered down with rain, so I've set up my bivvy, got the tarp up, so I'm going to have a cup of coffee and some dinner. I'm not even camped along the track, I'm actually down at the start of the trail again, just beside the river, so unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. It just got so wet and slippery. I had to come back a bit, so I'll get a good night's sleep and we'll try that track out again in the morning. I got as far as the gully in the swing bridge, but the river was a bit high to be taking your boots off and going in shin deep, so that's the part I've got to cross tomorrow. So anyway, it's been a good day so far. It's just bloody wet. It really packed in. I thought it was actually going to begin to fine up, but it's actually got worse. And it's still pouring, so all my gear's wet, all my clothes are wet. Just trying to keep my video gear wet, dry. But anyway, I'm thirsty and I'm hungry, so I'm going to put the billy on, have some dinner, my cuppa, have an early night. Hopefully nobody comes along and kicks me out of the spot where I'm at, because it's not actually in the bush reserve itself, but all good. So right, dinner time. Bon appetit everybody. Long day, I'm still wet. Have a feed and then hit the sack. Here's what I'm eating. There you go, how's that? Bit of steak, broccolini, mushrooms, and of course my hot frothy coffee. Little burner. It's a good chunk of steak, that one, look at that. Right, so I'll tuck in. Oh, what a day. I'm in the bivvy. The wind's roaring around again. I'm right next to the river, so that's pretty noisy too. But just spilt my coffee everywhere. It's underneath my sleeping mat, it's underneath my sleeping bag, it's in my boots. Oh, it's all happening. That's what happens when you camp in wet weather. Trying to keep everything dry and you get in too much of a hurry and you knock things over. And plus it was dark. It's really dark out there. So I'm going to try and get a good night's sleep. Hopefully I will. I'm pretty sore actually from walking along today. It's just my pack was just overweight again. I've got to do something about that. I've got to somehow find a way of reducing the weight. But it's bloody hard when you've got a lot of photographic gear, food, and when you're not actually using the huts and you've got all your sleeping gear and things like that with you. So yeah, I have to think about that for the future. Maybe I'll just have to do hut to hut instead. That way I don't have to take half the gear, just my food, bit of water, photographic stuff, and yeah. But I do like doing this stuff, you know, the bivvy and the tent, and just giving you all a bit of a look to what it's, you know, what it's like out here out in the old wilds. It's a bit of a wild night out there tonight, I can tell you. So I'm going to have a couple of jelly snakes to finish off the night, get the energy up. Hopefully I don't cramp up in the night, because these bivvy bags, you can't really turn around in them. So you're pretty much like a mummy. And yeah, let's hope there's some sunshine tomorrow. Get that rod out, do some fishing, do some trout fishing in some of those deep pools. Gonna have a look at the hut and finish in sunshine. Should be good. So cheers everybody. Good night, and we'll see you in the morning. Morning everyone. Well, it's not raining, but it's grey and overcast again, so I need to make a decision about whether I continue on to the hut or not if the weather's going to crap out. Oh, good morning. Here we are. Weather's a little bit better than when I gave you the first good morning clip where I woke up in my bivvy, but I'll just give you a look around my little setup here. So I'm just down in the bush. You can see the Alton tarp, got my tarp up. Bivvy in the background, bivvy down there underneath it. Did a great job, just kept me dry all night even though it was wet as. And of course over here one of my bivvy lines, got my socks hanging out, they got absolutely soaked. Got my wet weather parka, they got absolutely soaked, but this dries out really fast, so that's all good. And down here I've just got me billy going. Breakfast. Nice coffee. Oh, good. Alright, let's try some of this. Should be good. Backcountry cooked breakfast. A hearty combo of freeze-dried smoky beef, tomato egg and a hash brown potato mix. How weird does that sound? Probably alright actually. So it's been sitting there for 10 minutes with boiling water in it, and oh, it smells nice. That is hearty. Look at that. Let's give it a go. That'll start my day off good. It's pretty good. Definitely got lots of tomato bits in it. Bits of the beef. Hash browns that are sort of like little chippies. Maybe I should have bought a small one for breakfast. It's quite a lot. Dehydrated, so when it rehydrates there's quite a bit in it. Look at that. Bits of the old tram track. You know, it's over 100 years ago. All twisted and gnarly. there's another one. Yeah, I hooked one down there. It was only a little one, but it was still a trout. I've just lost 2 lures in a row, so... There we go. It's bubbling away, it's just steaming. It only takes 3 or 4 minutes to boil these things, they're bloody brilliant. Lid on so no uglies can get in. Yeah. So I hope you've liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's going to be a lot more like this. I think next time I might half the weight of my pack and actually trek into the hut. Just be a lot easier. But for now, hot cuppa. Oops. You can hear a few people coming along the trail. What an amazing spot. Waitawheta Gorge, Waitawheta River. Hour and a half south of Auckland, easy to get to. And it really is a bit of a lost world. And there's plenty of hiking trails. People come, they'll trek in, go to the hut and camp overnight. There's also a free camping area just down from the hut. That's where I'm planning to go tonight. May or may not get there. The weather's looking really good at the moment. But there's supposed to be more big showers coming. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'll make it tonight. Would like doing another night in the bush here. Camp and cook, it's great, love it. This little spot here where I am is pretty idyllic actually. I fancy camping on stones by the river though, which is a bit hard on the back. But what a spot. You can't see it, but behind me there's just these huge escarpments. Several 100 feet high, it's just straight up. I've got some footage already, but I'll get a bit more, give you an idea. You can see in the distance, well you can't really see up there, but if I tilt this little puppy, let's have a look. There you go, my head will disappear, but we'll give it, there you go, look at that. Unbelievable. And there's my ugly head again. So you can see it in the background now. So the gorge runs up through that way, up around a corner, and then basically it's just sheer walls down, several 100 feet. So you don't want to get off the trail too much when you're up the top there. You've got to be pretty careful. It's just spectacular. There's just the scene behind me. It's sort of mid-afternoon now, the sun's beginning to disappear behind the heights up there, so I'll finish my coffee and we'll pack up and we'll see where we end up. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you like it. And yeah, I love doing these camp and cook ones, so keep watching, like and subscribe, and see where the next one goes to. But for now, let's just enjoy our afternoon cuppa. And this amazing scenery. Sounds of the river, sounds of the birds, sun's out. What more could you want? Apart from $1 million. Oh, I've got $1 million views. That'll have to do. Cheers. raining in here. It's going to hose down again. My pack hasn't got any lighter. But when I walk along these trails, I think, you know, pre-pioneer days, I mean, these people were here working their butts off in the, right up in the gorge here, laying tracks, working draft horses, pulling everything, you know, with ancient old machinery, trying to get some gold out of the hills. But before them, you know, you've got to think of our indigenous people, our Maori people, who this was their kai basket, kai being food. You know, before the pioneers came and started ripping up the landscape, unfortunately, in the name of gold, you know, they would have had tracks going all through here, but it would have looked a bit different to what it does today around the tracks. The gorge, well, the gorge is the gorge. It's been like that for centuries. The river changes a bit as bits of the gorge fall in, but basically, you know, way back then, if you're a Maori and you're out hunting kai for your whānau, then, you know, it'd be mostly birds in here that they would be hunting. I don't know if once upon a time there were moa in this part of the world. I don't know. I think it might be a bit too rocky in it for moa, but I don't know, possibly. But definitely plenty of birds back then. Pre-European, I don't know about vermin, rats and things. You know, there were rats in the Pacific before white men came here. But who knows? Who knows? I'm not a historian. All I know is I walk along here on the way out and I look at this unforgiving but beautiful landscape, and I think, wow, to be in here having to hunt for your survival, unbelievable. Of course, a big part of what they ate in here were vegetables too, the vegetables and plants, sorry. You know, early Māori, they knew which plants were edible. The shoots of the ferns, even right here behind me here, you can see the ferns. The young shoots of those are edible. And of course there is piko, which is the fresh end of the frond, which curls up before it begins having its leaves. A lot of edible food in here. You know, you don't want to go ripping plants apart now to taste them, see if it's any good, but yeah, a lot of food in the bush. But anyway, let's head on out. Whew. Feeling pretty naked, just making my way out of the bush and along the track, which runs for about 30 minutes on private farmland before you get to the bush track, so very easy walk. Beautiful land. And look at this, the sun's come out. It's probably going to be a beautiful evening. My gear's a bit too wet and my boots are wet too, and my socks, I can feel a couple of blisters coming on, so I don't really want to push along the track, say, with wet boots and wet socks. Yeah, so yeah, that is Waitawheta Gorge, Waitawheta River, camp and cook. Couple of days, hope you enjoyed it. Just panning around, giving you a last look. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm pretty sore, and the weather was, well, the weather played havoc with my plans really, but no, it was great. Had a bit of a fish, camped along by the river, had a couple of cuppers by the river. Yep, heard the river overnight. It was pretty loud, but you get that. But no, I've enjoyed it, so I'll head back to the truck. Hope you enjoyed it too, and thanks for watching. Yeah, see you on the next one.